Hi everyone. Thanks for joining these sessions. Today we are going to start with the new session AZ-900, that is Azure Fundamental, and we will start with the chapter one, that is cloud computing. This session will be delivered by Sagar Pawar, that's me, and Samir Bhate. He's my colleague. We both representing a multi-cloud architect group. You can also join this group via LinkedIn or WhatsApp. We will discuss about it in the end of the training. So let's begin. So what is cloud computing? So cloud computing is a delivery of computing services over the internet. Computing services include common IT infrastructure such as virtual machines, storage, databases, and networking. Cloud services also expand the traditional IT offering to include the things like IoT, ML, AI as well. Because of the cloud computing uses internet to deliver these services, it doesn't have to be constrained by physical infrastructure the same way that traditional data center is. That means if you need to increase your IT infrastructure rapidly, you don't have to wait to build a new data center. You can use the cloud to rapidly expand your IT footprint. So if I want to give an example to you, so in this case, so understand in other ways that in case you have a database server in your on premises, and the database server you are taking a backup on daily basis. The backup is huge in size. Take example 50 GB in size, and you don't have the enough space in your data center to store that backups. So what you will do in that case, you can go to the cloud computing. You can create your account in Azure. You can take the storage services, and you can map the storage account with your database server, and you can start copying the backup or taking a backup on that storage drive, the cloud storage drive, I'm saying, and so that it will solve your problem. If you go with the traditional approach, then you have to you have to put order to to take a new hardware, and then you have to set up the hardware. There's a lot of things involved into that. So rather than that, cloud option is always easy to go for. Similarly, another example which I would give, if you have one software, the software you want to test on the one physical server. Software require a more GPU. So in that case, you don't have that much hardware right now with you. So what we can do in that case, you can take one VM with a GPU enabled, and in that VM you can deploy your software or install your software, and you can test it over there. So that will be very easy approach to go for. Okay, let's move on to next slide. So what is the shared responsibility model? So this is nothing but responsibility gets shared between the cloud provider and the consumer. So let's start from the right to left so that I can give you more details about it. So when you see the on premises, so if you see this, all box are in dark blue color. So it, and if you go down, you can see this is belong to customer. It means that customer has to own all the activities performed on premises. It means that the customer has to take the space for data center. He has to set up a building. He has to procure the servers, between devices, SAN drive, NFS drive, and then he has to do the integration or connectivity with that. And he has to also manage the administration, operational management of that. So all the responsibility comes under the bucket of customer, and it is a huge task. If you talked about the from the management point of view. Okay, now when we go to cloud computing, so computing is divided into the three main categories. This is the AS, infrastructure as a service. So over here, what cloud provider will say you that I will manage your data center. I will manage your the space, building, servers. We will own by us. You don't need to worry about it. Only you are worrying about it to infra running on that server. I would say the VM, for example, or any other infrastructure as a service. So over here, you have to take a server as a VM. Inside that, you install software, the operating system inside that, then the management of that operating system, the operation, then the administration, everything comes under the bucket of customer in terms of us, or in the as category, right? Now let's move little further to pass. So pass is stand for platform as a service. So when I say platform as a service, here you as a customer don't want to manage the server as well. You want somebody manage server for me. I only deploy my application. Of course, that is possible, and the cloud provider also support that. It will provide you the services, work as a software, work as a database as a service, or as in terms of a web server. So over there, you can set up a database, set up an application. You can, and you can run, you can use it. You don't have to worry about the underlying hardware on which it's running. So it's completely managed by your cloud provider. Okay, there's some part of it where you have to come in picture, but it's not, it's fully managed by the your or it's largely managed by your cloud provider. And then slowly we will move to the SaaS. This SaaS is a product base. It's completely product. It's a ready-made product where you don't need to do anything into that. So only you have to take a product and you have to start using it. This product is mostly license based. So you have to take a licenses for to use this product, and then that license get distributed to your employees or your or any other in your team who are going to use that product, and you have to distribute it, and then they can start using it. All the start to end is majorly handled by your cloud provider. You are only take the product and start using it. Now, if I want to explain this all the four categories in different way, so I will take an example of building a home. So if you talk about on premises, then if I want to building my home, then maybe that will come under the on premises category, where I will take a space, I will set up a building, I will do the plumbing, cooling, lighting, painting. Also, I will take accessories, or I will take the required things like bread, fridge, TV. So everything will be, I will own by myself, and I will manage that entirely. Okay. So in the ask category, if I take example of this building the home, in the ask category, I will not take any home. I will take a home on rent, but inside that home, the other things will I will own. So I will take my own bed. I will take my own TV, AC. So all the things inside that home, I will manage. I will own it completely. Now, in the same example, if I go to past, where I will take a home on rent, but even though the things inside the home, I will not manage. So I will everything will be provided by the owner, actual owner of that home. So he will give me the bed for sleeping. He will give me the AC, fridge, TV, everything. He will own by them. I only pay the rent, and we will use that things inside the home. Okay. Now let's move to SaaS. In a SaaS is nothing but living into the hotel, where I will pay the hotel charges, and I will take the home for 1 and 2 days. There I will not do anything over there. I will just live over there. Everything will be ready for me. Okay. So that is the another thing here. So this is how it is categorized. Okay. So I hope you understood the this concept about the shared responsibility model. Let's move to next slide. Now, cloud service model. So when you plan to go to cloud, then you have to understand that what are the things comes under AS, PaaS, and SaaS. Because based on that, you will design your product into the cloud, or you will take the service into the cloud in that perspective. Because AS is more flexible than PaaS. PaaS is also helpful for you, but if you compare to the ask, then it is less flexible. The customization will be less in pass. And if you go to the SaaS, it's a complete product base, so you don't have any option to customization, or do it is not that flexible. So every company or every organization will think in that area, whether when they will go to ask, pass, and SaaS. Because ask, you will get a more option where you will take a VM, and then you will install your software inside the VM. You have enough IT skill set with you, so that who can do the administration work, operational work, management work. But if you don't have that much skill set with you, you have a more developer in your team, or they more are database team skill set people with you, then might be you will go with a pass, where you can have less customization. You will directly take a product, will deploy your code inside that. You will take a database, and you will integrate your application with the database, and it will work as smoothly as you want. Okay. So all management work will be handled by your cloud provider. Okay. In SaaS, it's a complete product base. It's a product you are going to take it. It's not flexible at all, but it's completely owned by the cloud vendor. So you have to just take a product. I would say in case of financial services, CRM, email services, okay, connectivity services, monitoring services, every service is available over the product available over there. You take a product and use it as it is. Okay, so now similarly, there are also player in the market who only provide a similar limited services to you. Like for example, a desktop as a service. So Citrix as a player provided desktop as a service as a product through their platform. Uh, Also, backup as a service is a platform available in the market, or even the disaster recovery is a service platform also available in the market. So you can take the services as well. So this is similar kind of cloud services, but they are designed in a such a way that it only provide that much skill set to you, and you can take the services and you can pay for that. So
Let's
let's
move on.
understand the public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. So when I say public cloud, it means the cloud is available for all the customers. There is no restriction. Anybody can go and create an account and start using it. When I say the private cloud, it means it's a private to organization, that only that organization is on that complete private cloud. Nobody is going to use that. And hybrid cloud, where it's a combination of private cloud and public cloud. Few services I want to use of public cloud, and few services I will keep with the private cloud. It's my choice. Now, if I talk about public cloud, the first thing which you need to understand about the expansion. So if I want to expand or if I want to scale up into public cloud, is easy and it is doable without looking anything else here. In the private cloud, it is not a share model. Okay, it is a private cloud, so you have to think about the resources before scaling up, whether you have that enough hardware available to scale up or scale up. Then you have to think in that area. And hybrid cloud might be, I will take approach where few services which I need expansion, which is going to expand in near future. So might be that services I will take from public, remaining services I will keep with the private, in that way. Now, if I want to provision an application inside the public cloud, it will be very easy for me. It's very quick. But with the private cloud, I have to think before see that whether application I am going to deploy into the hardware, whether it will be enough for the application to run, or I need to think out anything else also with that application, because I also require additional backend, a business layer. So all this point I have to consider. So first I have to create a data, what is the role of that application and how many people are going to serve that application in that area. Again, in hybrid cloud, I think similar way, where I will think whether my application is going to expand. So few components I will keep into the public cloud and few components I will keep in the private cloud, so that it will be easily distributed and I will going to use it without any further delay or without any impact to my business. Similarly, in public cloud, you have to pay for the services what you are going to use. Okay, so there is a commitment also available. So you have to do commitment, or you can pay on demand on per hour basis as well. In private cloud, everything is owned by you, so you have to bear the cost. You have to bear all the cost, hardware cost, operational cost, administration cost. So everything will come under your bucket. You have to maintain that. Again, hybrid cloud, you can use a private cloud, you can use a public cloud, but when you go with a private public cloud, then you have to think whether whatever industry you are going to use, whatever industry you are in, right? So you have to meet the industry standard, regulation, security as well. So whether public cloud is support that or not, that you have to first identify or you have to validate. Based on that, you can take that services from the public cloud. I think nowadays public cloud supports a lot of regulations and compliance, so there won't be that challenge. But as an organization, you have to think in that area as well. And then and under public cloud, the hardware upgradation, hardware enhancement, hardware patching, everything will be owned by the cloud vendor. You don't need to look into it. But as a private cloud, you have to think in that area, because hardware you are going to you are owning that. So that in that case, you have to do the patching, you have to do the maintenance of hardware. Is under comes under you. And similar hybrid cloud, you will take a benefit of that hardware which is you are going to use in that way. Let's move on. Thank you. So let's understand the capex and opex. When comparing IT infrastructure model, there are two types of expenses to consider. One is capital expenditure, that is we also call capex. Another one is operational expenditure, that is we call opex. So capex is a one-time cost or upfront cost to purchase the data center space, to purchase the hardware for data center. Then the other cost for vehicles, for cooling, electricity, that comes under this. And the opex cost is kind of operational cost. It is a recurring cost where we have to pay this cost to run the businesses, to run the operation of your company. So this opex cost also similar to cloud computing as well. You have to go when you go to cloud computing, you have to consider this cost over there as well. So the cloud computing falls under the OPEX because the cloud computing operates on the consumption-based model. So if you see the major benefit of this consumption-based model is there is no upfront cost. You can pay on the hour basis. You don't need to purchase very highly infrastructure or high infrastructure, or you don't need to manage it also. Cloud provider will manage it for you. When you require more hardware, you can take it to more hardware from cloud provider in a minute or in a less time. And then when you are done with this your work, you can stop or you can delete these resources from the portal, so that there is no additional amount you have to pay. So it's very straightforward for you. So let's understand the cloud benefits. So first one is the high availability. So when you are deploying an application, a service, or any IT resources, it's important that resources are available when needed. High availability focus on ensuring the maximum availability regardless of disruption or events that may occur. When you are architecting your solutions, you will need to account for service availability guarantees. Other is highly available cloud environment with uptime guarantee depending on your service. This guarantee are part of service level agreements, that is we also called SLA. Now moving to next, scalability. Another major benefit of the cloud computing is the scalability of cloud resources. Scalability refers to the ability to adjust resources to meet a demand. If you suddenly experience a peak traffic and your system are overwhelmed, the ability to scale means you can add more resources to better handle the increased demand. The other benefit of scalability is that you aren't overpaying for services because the cloud is consumption based model. You can only pay for what you use. If your demand drops, you can reduce your resources and thereby reduce your cost. Scaling generally comes in two varieties: vertical and horizontal. Vertical scaling is focused on increasing and decreasing the resources, and horizontal scaling is adding or subtracting the number of resources. Now, the next one is the reliability. Reliability is the ability of a system to recover from failure and continue to function. It also one of the pillar of the major Microsoft Azure Well Architect framework. The cloud, by virtue of its decentralized design, naturally supports a reliable and resilient infrastructure. With the decentralized design, the cloud enable you to have resources deployed in a region around the world. With this global scale, even if one region has catastrophic event, other than region are still up and running. You can design your application to automatically take advantage of this increased reliability. In some cases, your cloud environment itself will automatically shift to different region for you with no action is needed on your part. You will learn more about how Azure leverage global scale to provide reliability later in the this session. Predictability. Predictability is a cloud leads to move forward with a confidence. Predictability can be focused on performance and the cost. Both performance and cost predictability are heavily influenced by Microsoft Azure Well Architect framework. Deploy a solution that's built around the framework, and you have a solution that cost and performance are predictable. So under predictability, we will see performance first. So performance is a predictability focused on predicting the resources needed to deliver a positive experience for your customers. Auto scaling, load balancing, high availability are just some of the cloud concept that supports performance predictability. If you suddenly need a more resources, auto scaling can deploy additional resources to meet the demand and then scale back when demand drops off. Or if the traffic is heavily focused on one area, load balancing will help indirect some of the overload or less stress areas. And the cost predictability is focused on predicting or forecasting the cost of the cloud spend. With the cloud, you can track your resources using the real time, monitor resources to ensure that you are using them in a more efficient way, and apply data analytics to find patterns, trends that help better plan resources deployment. By operating in the cloud and using the cloud analytics and information, you can predict future costs, adjust your resources as needed. You can even use the tools like TCO, we also call total cost of ownership, or pricing calculator to get an estimate of potential cloud spend. Let's see about a next benefit, governance and compliance. When you are deploying infrastructure as a service or software as a service, cloud feature support governance and compliance. Things like set a template, help ensure that all deployed resources meet corporate standards and government regulatory requirements. Plus, you can also update all your deploy resources to new standard or standard changes. Cloud-based auditing helps flag any resources that out of the compliance with your corporate standards and provide mitigation strategies. Governance and security comes will walk hands in hand. Depending on your operating model, software patches updates may also automatically be applied with help of governance and security. On security side, you can find a cloud solution that matches your security needs. If you want to maximum control of your security infrastructure, the service provides you with the physical resources that lets you manage the operating system and install softwares. If you want to you want to patches or maintenance taken care of automatically, platform as a service or software as a service deployment may be best cloud strategies for you as well. Because of the cloud is intended as a over the internet delivery of IT services, cloud providers are typically well suited to handle things like distributed denial of services attacks, making your network more robust and secure. Moving to the last benefit of the of this cloud is manageability. So, the major benefit of cloud computing is the manageability option. There are two types of manageability of for cloud computing that you will learn about in this part. Management of cloud. So when I think the management of the cloud, where I'm trying to auto scale my resources based on my need, uh, I can deploy the resources based on the pre-configured template. We also call it ARM template, removing the need of manual configuration. You can monitor the health of resources, automatically replace the failing resources, receive the automatic alerts based on the configure metrics. So you are aware about the performance and in real time. So you can take the proactive measure for any kind of failure. And then management of the cloud in the other way where you want to manage this cloud. So you can use the Azure portal. You can take a use of the command line interface. You can take a use of APIs, application program interface, and then you can also use the PowerShell. So there are multiple methods available for you to manage this cloud. Yeah, so this is all the benefit of the your cloud. Okay, so thank you for listening. We in next session we'll talk about the other services. Thank you.